Another big talking point of the week. The team lists are finally out. It's Tuesday at 4 o'clock.
How good?
Nico Hines, calf injury, will miss round 1 this week. I think that's a big loss for Cronulla. I would put him on the level of, if he's out for Cronulla, they don't win too many games. I'd put him on the same level as you put Latrell is for Souths, the same level as you put Tom Trbojevic for Manly. He's their leader, and he's the one that's going to win them games.
He's their X factor, but I don't think that if he misses games, they're not going to lose that game. The same way that if Latrell or Trbojevic miss games.
Yeah, but I don't see them playing finals without him.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't be making noise in the finals. They could definitely make the 8. They've still got a stacked team. Ronaldo, Mulatalo, and Katoa are probably the best winger combo in the comp. They got Jesse Ramian, great centre, just re-signed. Matt Moylan's a good serviceable half, and I think they got Trindle filling in, and he did an okay job last year.
Without him this week, do they beat Souths?
No. That's only because I love Latrell mitt.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't think I think they'll struggle without him. But they do. They field a good squad, but I can't see him playing finals of footy without him. But another big talking point, and I know we're saying there's been a few big talking points all week.
Everything's a big talking point.
Is Angus Crichton on medical leave? The Roosters have approached the NRL and said they're seeking salary cap reimbursement or disbursement exemption for him not being able to play. Andrew Abdo's come out and he's also said they're going to look into it and explore it as much as they can. Do you think it's fair if the Roosters, say he doesn't play a game for the Roosters all season, he's earning something like $650,000 a year. It could be like a physical injury, like, when someone medically retires, like an Anthony Watmough or Sam Burgess, they get the salary cap compensation.
It's tough because it's not a physical injury. And while, thoughts and prayers go out to Angus, hope he recovers well. It's because it's not a physical injury, and the turnaround time for him to make his return is probably shorter than what a physical injury would be. So if they're anticipating he could come back at round 10 or even it's round 20.
I think the Roosters are, they have the right to at least ask the NRL. It's not like I don't think they're being greedy about it. If they've put a lot of cap space.
$750K.
He's on about $750,000. So they've put some cap space aside for him to play this season. He played well in the World Cup. They're thinking everything's going to go smoothly, and then he's not able to play.
You can't do it for this year, but maybe for next year if he doesn't play. Because what's the difference between him and Pappenhausen? What if Pappenhausen sits out the whole season because of his knee? What's the difference between those two players?
Yeah, but he sustained that while playing. This was completely external.
I mean,
this is completely external. It's like if someone has to medically retire almost.
That's the thing. Unless he's going to retire, you can't exempt his salary from the cap. Unless he's put up and said, "I'm not playing for the rest of the year. I'm questionable to return at all." Then they could be like, you know what? Give him maybe 50% off. Give him half the contract back.
What about this story leading up to the Broncos-Panthers game this weekend? I love this one. Jerome Luai and Selwyn Cobbo going at it in the media this week.
You'll love to see it.
Selwyn Cobbo has gone on another podcast, hasn't gotten himself in trouble this time.
We love Cobbo on a podcast.
I'd love to get him on the podcast and say something disparaging about some players or coaches. But he's come out and said, Jerome Luai is a grub. And that's a quote. He said that after Jerome Luai stood over him in State of Origin while he was knocked out. Jerome Luai's responded to that and saying, I didn't know he was knocked out. And it was a heat of the moment type thing. Everyone calls me a grub. I don't care. I'll see him in round 1.
I mean, it was Origin. Who's not getting G'd up when you see someone get bashed?
I think he has every right to stand over anyone. Who does, like, it's Origin. Your emotions are heightened. You're playing on the biggest stage. I'm pretty sure it was game 3. It was at Suncorp. Everyone was going nuts. The crowd was going nuts. He was knocked out in the first 2 minutes. I understand he was making his debut. His family was there.
He wasn't making his debut.
He wasn't making his debut?
I think he played the whole series.
Okay. But in saying that, he has every right to... to get heated up.
Who wouldn't get G'd up at Suncorp in a game 3?
But this is what fans want to see more. I don't want clubs policing players saying, you can't say this and don't do that. Call other players out, make it more entertaining. Because
the best part about it is Luai's response. He's come out and said, you know what, I'm a grub, but I'll see him round 1. Let's hit it off in round 1.
Now I want to tune in, in this Broncos Penrith match and see if there's any push and shove. See who's going to get the better of each other.
I thought Cobbo would be playing on the wing, so if he rushed in and clotheslined him,
shot on or
but he's playing at fullback, so you never know. Maybe after Luai makes a line break, Cobbo can go for a late shot. I'd love to see. I'm a big fan of both players, but I love the biff.
But we need more player rivalries. We already got Latrell and Manu.
Everyone looks forward to when they play now
because they go at each other. There needs to be a bit more. Last year with Tavita Pangai Jr. and Tino, there was a little bit of was he going to come out and say, I tried to get Tavita Pangai to say something back and forth. He was a bit nervous to say something.
And Luai's not shy from a bit of a niggle.
Yeah, so
He'll get in there and rub some dirt in Cobbo's face.
it'll be great to see.
Who are you taking head to head?
Out of the two?
If they go face to face.
In a punch on?
I think he's a bigger boy.
You got to go. Yeah, he's about 6 foot something.
Yeah,
He's
but
probably got about 20 kegs
niggly
on him.
the field. I mean, Luai doesn't have Kikia this year next to him.
He's got Luke Garner.
He's got Luke Garner, who's a big white boy instead, and I'm sure he'll be his bodyguard on that left
maybe
side.
3/4 of the size of kick out.
Yeah, but I think he can do a job. Underrated Luke Garner in the second
Maybe he's got
row.
to put Fisher Harris to the
Guess
left
we'll see.
side prop.
But I'll be looking forward to that. Another big omission from the teams. Not a big. Everyone knew he wasn't going to be ready to go round one, but Ryan Pappenhausen.
Yeah, it's a
Bellamy's come out and advised that he hasn't even started running yet, and it's likely he'll be back towards round 10 almost. Pappenhausen himself said he's not going to be back until at least past round 8.
Well, if Bellamy's come out and said he hasn't even started running yet. Now, I've never done my ACL or a significant leg injury, but if you're not running 5-6 months into an injury, you've got another 6 months of recovery to go. So what's round 10? Is that maybe 3 months away, 4 months away?
I'm also even worried, will Pappenhausen be the same? Will he
Yeah.
have that turn of pace where he scored that grand final try? Will he always have in the back of his mind, mate, if I go and collide with someone, my knee could shatter into 11 pieces?
I feel like
I don't think I could run again.
He'd be the type of player, similar to, how they in the NBA, they go, if you do your Achilles, you're never coming back. Happened to Kobe, happened to, I think, Dominique Wilkins, all these other players. Kevin Durant did it.
KD's
Modern
Achilles.
technology, modern recovery, he'll be fine.
He did go over to the States.
He went over to the States as well with Tommy Turbo. Maybe they've worked their magic. We've seen what Latrell was like when he came back from the States.
The States just got,
But
extra
I've
juice.
seen his vlogs to recovery on TikTok, Pappenhausen. I follow him. It's an entertaining watch. He knows what he's doing. But he's got poles for legs right now. Like, they are flat out sticks. There's no... I don't know if it's gotten any better. It was the last TikTok I watched. But they're thin. And I feel like they're brittle, ready to be broken again if he runs on
I
a
think
rugby league field.
he already had extremely small legs. It wasn't like he was packing a lot of... It wasn't Saquon Barkley out there on the field. Mm-hmm. So add that to an injury where you're not moving your leg for at least 4 or 5 months, you're going to lose all your weight and muscle that was already there.
Yeah.
So I reckon it's probably weighing at about 3 kilos, his legs.
Speaking of people coming back from injury, Tom Trebojevic back for round 1. No one thought he was going to make it back for round 1. He had an injury.
Well, then when they put out that he did his hamstring,
in the
in training,
pre-season.
you thought, okay, there goes 6 weeks.
Yeah, he didn't slip in the shower. He wasn't running past the Ivanhoe Hotel. He did this at training. Went to the United States, saw the same doctor that Latrell saw. Latrell came back last year. Didn't miss a game when he came back from the United States.
Played awesome.
Played unbelievably. Almost, took South deep.
He was the main reason for their finals run.
Will Trebojevic be the same this year? I guess we don't know. But I don't think Manly will be the same without him. Do you load management him this year? Do you put him, rest him for games against the Dragons or Newcastle?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, if he plays every game, he probably won't last till round 9. That's just being honest. That's just got a fresh hamstring injury. You got to bring him back into it
He's
slowly.
probably changed his running style. The more games he plays, the better. He needs to get games under the
I'll
belt. He hasn't played enough games over the last
I'll
2
pitch it
years.
to you. Will he miss a game before round 9? Over under round 9, maybe 8.5. Will he miss
No.
a game before then?
No, I back the United States recovery.
He'll play every single game till round 8.
Well, if they're confident enough to put him fresh for round 1,
What's their
I
schedule?
think so.
What's their schedule?
look it up. Why not?
If they're versing a Newcastle, if they're versing a...
No, I wouldn't rest him. He needs games under the belt, mate. You need your match fitness. You can do all the preseason training you want.
Here we go.
Go.
So I've got it up here.
Bulldogs then the bye.
Yep.
Para.
Para, you've got to play that game. Souths, okay, I'll play that one. Newcastle round 5 at Glen Willow Oval. I don't know where that is.
You say you'd rest him for that.
Give him a bit of
And
rest.
put Ruben
Garrett
Garrett
can fill in.
No,
Newcastle.
so that's where we differ. I think Seabold's going to say, we need you to be playing games.
and
He
he's
used to be playing
He's
games.
probably under the pump as
And
well.
why wouldn't you want to play those games where there's not too much on the line? You're versing a club like Newcastle that doesn't have a lot of star players. You should be a walk in the park for you.
I'm saying his hamstring's going to get real tight, and nothing's better for a hamstring than rest.
I guess he'll play it by ear.